unlike when I'm like by myself or with one other person.
There's a protest, my family, we were just talking about this, there's a protest photograph that I find very moving, and it was the first climate, school climate, help me someone, with Greta Thunberg, where she protested for climate. And there's a picture of her holding a sign, and she's just sitting by herself outside of school. And to know that over the years that walkout for climate, whatever it's called, became humongous and international, and it just started with one girl with her two braids. I mean, it's a really powerful thing when you let your one voice be heard, but then when you have the same people who feel the same way as you do, it's even more powerful. So that's incredibly powerful from the march. So what else happened on the front steps? Did you guys get to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah? Great, so great. I'm kind of curious. I mean, you're in 8th grade, you're in 5th and 6th grade. Did this experience make you want to be a legislator or a lawyer or an activist professionally? It did? I mean, have you already considered that? Like someday that's what you want to do?
Well, Stella's going to be president someday, so.
I can't wait.
Hey, good.
Yes?
Well, so something that I thought was funny is a couple of months after I joined VCAT, and I was telling my family about like what we've been doing and how like we're gonna go to the state house and do all these fun things and like protest. My younger sister, thought that was really cool, and now she's really set on being a climate activist.
You're setting an example for the younger generation as well, and that's really important because your voices are we live in a strange time. Our voices need to be heard, and it's sometimes can feel frustrating, especially in Vermont. I feel like we are a like-minded bunch, and sometimes we look at what's happening in other parts of this country, and we feel a feeling of dismay or disappointment. So it's good for us to get together and speak our minds. We do that all the time in this office when we join our fellow states, kind of like we did in that Master Settlement Agreement, the big tobacco case from the 1990s that I mentioned. We do that all the time, like pretty much weekly. We are signing letters with other state attorneys general or lawsuits, and we play a role on the national scene by making sure that Vermont's voice is heard when that work is being done. So we spend a lot of time in this office doing that.
Yeah, I'm kind of agree with you. Like, as I've been joining VCAT, there's like been more posters around our school, and there's been more people who've been like actually knowing about it, and I'm feeling like most people are, like, there's not as many problems this year as there was last year. I think it's because of VCAT.
That's amazing. That is so great. I remember that from like when smoking started to just like, it's not cool. It's really interesting. So I graduated from high school in 1993, and the difference between someone who graduated from high school in the 1980s, even like 5 years before me, and my year, like no one smoked. It was not cool to smoke. I had zero friends who smoked. But 5 years before that, I have friends who are in that generation, and like they had to quit smoking because everyone smoked. It's just amazing how that experience of like enough people saying this isn't cool, it just, you know how cool works, it just becomes less cool. So it's like you're protecting yourselves, each other, and people who see you and might not even be joining you. So that's awesome. So you're here as activists, but you're also here learning. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what my office does. I bet maybe someone here knows. Does anyone know what the Attorney General does for the state? I kind of gave you a hint in one of the things that we do. So the Attorney General, in a nutshell, is the lawyer for the state. And it used to be like one guy. And it was like, oh, something contract, someone needs to be sued, and it was just like this one man in the 1700s would do it. Over the years, our office got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now we have about 150 people who work here, and we do all sorts of things. So we sue people when they violate our consumer protection laws. Consumer is someone who is buying something or buying a service, and that's the law that we use when we sue the tobacco companies. But we also bring criminal charges against people and handle criminal cases. We also do the work of reading contracts. Like if someone is a big company is going to help us pave a road, like however you got here, I-91, or however you got here on 116, we'll contract with them, and we review the contract, the lawyers here, so we make sure everything's fine. And if there's a disagreement, we'll be the lawyers to go to court. So that's sort of a flavor of what we do. We have an office here, obviously, you're here, and we're on this floor and another floor in this building. We also have a bunch of people in Waterbury, and we have some in Barry, and then sprinkled around the state for the Department of Children and Families. So we have a lot of lawyers, and Amelia and I spend a lot of time next door in the legislature because we have a lot of expertise with all these lawyers. We have about 100 lawyers in the office. We're the largest law firm in the state. Hi. Welcome. Hello. How are you? I'm Charity Clark.
Hi.
It's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I think we have some other chairs here. Oh, and back here. I was just describing a little bit about what the Attorney General does. And we've also gone around and just said our name, our pronouns, and why we are an activist. So if you would like to join and say that, we'll welcome you.
Hello everyone, I'm Rhonda Williams, she, her, hers. I'm the director of the Tobacco Control and Prevention Program. And this issue of tobacco prevention really matters to me because I grew up with two parents who both smoked and both got cancer, and one of them died prematurely. So thank you for being here and thank you for meeting with us.
And I'm Connor as well, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm one of the analysts for the tobacco program at the state of Vermont, and I just find tobacco really interesting. There's a wide breadth of data that I'm really working with, and it's really the backbone of the foundation of what we're working with, and really trying to empower the youth and make sure that tobacco can be controlled and really doesn't become a lifetime of addiction.
Yep. Well, welcome. I'm glad you guys are here, and I've heard a lot about what's happened this morning, which just sounds like a big success and amazing. I'm thrilled for all of you who participated. And it sounds like you also in your schools, when you do VCAT work, you're together meeting, talking, planning, which is also really nifty. I wonder if anyone has any questions for me about the office, the legislature. Yes?
How do you sue someone?
Okay, so to sue someone, step one, if you want to sue on behalf of the state of Vermont, you have to be me or someone who works for me. Only I can do that. But everyone can sue someone. You don't have to be me if you just want to sue someone. But you have to fill out paperwork, go to court, or you can file it online now, I think. And you have to pay money usually. We don't because we're the state, but you usually have to pay a little bit of money, like $200. And that's how you sue someone. It's just paperwork. And it says like, you have to name all the parties and why you're suing. The parties are the people who are, part of the lawsuit. And you don't have to be a lawyer to sue someone. So we have people all the time who defend lawsuits against, because we also defend the state when somebody sues the state.
Can you say, can you not be sued? Like if someone sues you, but you're not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, here's what we do. If someone sues us and we just think, oh my gosh, your lawsuit is no way you're going to win this, we file what's called a motion to dismiss. And when you dismiss something, you're like, yeah, right. So we just say to the judge, come on, for real, there's no way this guy's going to win. And then the judge will say, we agree with you, dismissed. Or they'll say, sorry, ma'am, you're wrong, we're going to keep going with the case. And the other thing that's interesting is we have 2 levels of courts here in Vermont. So we have, every county has courts, a court where it's the state suing on criminal matters, courts where there's family matters, and then regular civil court. A civil court is, when you, like we sued in civil court when we had our tobacco case. But then we have the Vermont Supreme Court. Did you guys see the Vermont Supreme Court? It's attached to this building. It's right next door.
Is it still closed? We were looking to do.
It can't be totally closed.
Just reopened, but actually I have a photo exhibit right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's just very charming. It's right next door, so you should definitely take a peek before you go. But they're the ones, if you don't like what happened in the county courts, you have to go there. They're the appellate court, it's called.
Have you ever had to deal with any other bills about nicotine or tobacco, vaping, anything like that?
Well, we have S18 that we testified this year. A lot of the work that we do around tobacco from our office stems from that big case from the 1990s. You know, it's a ton of money. So if you think about 1990 to now, that was 25 years ago, is that right? I think, and we get like $20 million. The other thing that's so cool is Vermont, because we feel so strongly about this issue, we were one of the leader states, so we got extra money. We got like $100 million extra because we were so passionate. We like sued right away. We were one of the leaders. So by now we've probably gotten like $1 billion. I mean, it's so much money. I should do the math and figure that out, but it is so much money. So a lot of the work we do is making sure we're protecting that money. The lawsuit's the settlement's very complicated. It's like, it's a whole book. Instead of being like on one piece of paper, they literally put it in a book this thick. Very complicated. We have to do things too. So they give us money, they stop advertising to kids, but we have to do stuff too. And we are very careful to always do those things that we have to do because we want to make sure we get all the money because we don't